Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 148. I'm Ryan Thogmartin. That is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. And this is pretty much the only web show that you should watch about the death care space.
You know, it's interesting with the death care space that we have a huge announcement where we're interviewing a new launch. How many times have we done that in the industry where we get the first interviews with industry superlatives actually in and out of the industry that are making changes, serious disruptors, and they come on the Funeral Nation show first for their interview. How many times does that happen?
I can't count. I'm out of fingers and toes. So it's been a lot. Out of 148 episodes, I'm going to say that probably at least 40% of them have been breaking news that, you know, we're like the New York Times of the funeral space, like pretty much.
Okay, well, I'll choose another publication. We'll let that one go. But anyway, thanks. I'm tracking with you. I love you like a play cousin, so that wasn't so bad.
All right.
So speaking of disruptors in the industry, C&J Financial is the one that powers this show, makes it happen, brings it to the hemisphere. You know, we're seeing where people across the pond on both sides are watching our show, and north and south of the border. So C&J, thank you, Jamie, and all your team there. But let's run their promotion so we can get into some new news.
What payment method do you prefer families use for your goods and services? Most funeral homes and cemeteries prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance as the preferred method of payment. However, families who use life insurance are able to purchase the funeral service of their choice and spend 31% more on your goods and services. By encouraging more families to pay with insurance, you can create a better experience for the family and become more profitable without increasing your call volume. The reason most firms prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance is that insurance companies are a hassle to deal with, and payment can often take weeks or months to receive. With C&J Financial, you can receive funding within 24 hours of verification of benefit, thereby eliminating the hassle, headache, and cash flow delay in processing insurance death claims. Let us show you why hundreds of funeral homes all across America choose C&J for their assignment funding needs, and why many associations, accounting firms, and industry leaders recommend C&J to their clients and members.
You know, Jeff, you mentioned hemisphere and other side of the pond. We actually are reaching about 212 different countries where people are watching the show from.
Right, including the Republic of New Jersey. So we're excited about that.
All right, so news.
You, Frankie, do you hear me? I called you out. Anyway, Ryan, there's news this week.
Yeah.
So good news.
Well,
we see that there's another lawsuit that has been settled because of a failure to train.
Yeah, after 4 years, SEI has finally settled for $12 million in a lost remains case with a family. And, you know, it's funny. Anytime we put SEI in the title of something, like Connecting Directors explodes with comments and interactions. And most of the time, the comments are more entertaining than the actual news story. But yeah, so, I mean, you said it best, lack of training, which we talked about last week. You know, there's education and then there's actual training, and lack of training, getting rid of remains, and then families going, oh yeah, we need to get those from the funeral home, and you not having them anymore. It's a bad case scenario. And, you know, one of the comments that I thought it's a different approach than probably I would take, but a comment said that their employer, one of the funeral directors said their employer sent a letter out to all of the families that had not picked up remains, so unclaimed remains in the closet in the basement of the funeral home. If they didn't pick them up in the next 30 days, they were going to just get rid of them, which I don't know how you dispose of those remains, but the guy did say that there were a number of families that came and picked up remains and had forgotten that those remains were still at the funeral home, which that to me is mind-boggling as well. So I don't know. This was not comical for SEI, and it points out a big issue that a number of funeral homes need to take into consideration, because I haven't talked to a funeral home that doesn't have unclaimed remains somewhere on their property. And there's some good advice in the article, if you haven't read it, of some things SEI could have done differently and other funeral homes could have done differently to try to avoid this lawsuit. And the good thing for most family-owned funeral homes is they're not going to settle a $12 million lawsuit, but a $200,000 lawsuit could be enough to completely tank the business. So,
I don't disagree. This is an example, unfortunately, of where I just mentioned earlier, of training could have been completely prevented. And I want to say this too. I don't think that demonizing SCI for this action is necessarily, a great route, because frankly, they do a lot of great things for our industry.
That's right.
The unfortunate part for them is when they make a mistake, everybody knows there's probably some deep pockets, so therefore it's easier, right?
That's right.
To get out here and do this. There are some things that can be preventative, even contractually, about the date and how long you can keep cremated remains. But those are things that you have to go through legally, because you can say to a family at some point, we've been this long, we've tried to contract, we've tried to contact, you haven't. So it's not our responsibility to keep these until the next generation of funeral directors come in. So it's interesting how we, once again, failed to train. Tell me how this couldn't have been prevented without training. And another little piece that it kind of caught my ear when you're talking about the person who is putting this on social media. Folks, you need to have a social media policy at your funeral home, because if you have a funeral director who's kind of blabbing, this is what we do, don't think that will show up in court.
That's right. That's right. It's public, baby. It's public.
I'm just saying. Yeah, my hero, Ron White. It's okay to be stupid in private, but don't be stupid in public. Anyway, so let's move on to something that's most exciting. We have another huge announcement. It's an industry-changing opportunity. So let's go ahead and roll that interview.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, welcome, Adam Shear and Dan Assard. We have something exciting to share today, but we're going to first get you to introduce yourselves individually. Adam, would you share with us who you are and where you come from?
Sure, Jeff. Well, thanks for having me on the show. I'm a longtime fan. I'm the co-CEO of the Roosevelt Investment Group. We are an investment management firm based in New York City, and we work with funeral homes and cemeteries.
Very cool. Dan, though you don't need an introduction, can you please introduce yourself as well?
Happy to, Ryan and Jeff. Good morning to your viewers. I'm Dan Assard, the managing partner of the Foresight companies. We're a financial and management consulting company that does anything for a buck.
He says anything financial to help for a buck. Guys, we're really excited this morning that there's a new announcement about Foresight Roosevelt Wealth Management. And so, Dan, I'll start with you. Why did you want to do this with Roosevelt?
Well, Foresight is a financial and management company, and our job is to help our clients maximize the value and the income from their business, as well as protecting it, operating it better, anything that they can do to maximize their result. Now, the problem was that we had a boundary. We helped someone with their business assets, but we weren't helping them with their financial assets personally or the corporate financial assets. And we realized that limit we had to break through. My partner, Doug Gober, has had a long-standing relationship with Adam. I've been familiar with Adam for almost 20 years. And Doug brokered this idea between us, and it was a natural. So we added the ability to provide the services as well as the access to unique products for our clients and their financial management.
Excellent. And so my question is for Adam. Adam, why does Roosevelt want to be deeper entrenched in the funeral space?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Ryan. We worked with cemeteries since the late 80s, early 90s. My father, who founded this company, made that connection. But it was about 10 years ago that a client and good friend and mentor, Bob Lomason, brought me to the Death Care Management Council, and it really was an eye-opener. I met great people who cared about their families and wanted to make a really wonderful experience for their families. They were innovative and generous with knowledge, and I learned a lot from them. And what I learned about the space is that because of the cremation rates rising, and also due to the demographics of the ages of the funeral home owners, there's a lot of turmoil going on in this industry. And when there's turmoil, there's great opportunity as well as great challenges. So my feeling was that we could continue to work with the ones that are embracing change and thriving, helping them with their pre-need funds, as well as their perpetual care funds in the cemetery space. And those that say, I don't want to change my business, this is what I've done my whole life, many of them will sell. And that's where we can also add value, because we are investment managers, but we're also financial planners. So a lot of folks, when they sell their business, they've lived off their business their whole adult lives, and they don't know what number they need to retire and to live their lifestyle. And that's just one of many ways that we can help. So we feel that we're uniquely situated to not just help the companies with their trust funds, but the individuals with their goals and objectives.
Yeah, so Adam, listening, it's really a holistic wealth management program with Foresight and with Roosevelt. Dan, would you care to maybe elaborate on holistic wealth management?
Well, just as holistic medicine looks at the entire person, you don't want them to go on a diet and not pay attention to their exercise or the quality of stress that they have in their world, or the way in which they sleep. You look at everything. You look at the whole person. We need to do the same thing now. Historically, we've done an exceptional job of managing the business and the succession of the business, but the profits from the business need to be put and working for you someplace. So that way it helps you to retire and be financially independent. Because there's only one of three things that can happen to you. You could die before retirement, you could become disabled before retirement, or you could live to a normal retirement age. The reality is 85% of people will live to normal retirement age, and they have no game plan for that. With Adam's help and the help of his people, we're now creating a system to do a target profit monitor, if you will, not just for the business, but the entire financial world of everyone.
So why is that holistic approach valuable to the business owner? They may be thinking, hey, I'm doing fine just as it is. Why is holistic wealth management going to be valuable for me?
Ryan, and I think that it's because the one thing money can't buy is time. Now, you know me to make a lot of jokes. There is no joke about that. At 65 years old, I know that no matter how much wealth I have, my time is limited. If I can help a client who planned on retiring at 65, work his assets harder, create a better system, do better tax planning, save a little bit more here or there, and retire now at 63 or 62 or 61, I've given them the one thing no one else in this world can give them: time.
Excellent. So we're going to finish up with a question for both. Share with us why Foresight Roosevelt Wealth Management Program is different from working with a local advisor.
Great. I'll start and then Dan jump in. Really, the difference is that we understand the industry. And we work with other outside great partners that also focus on the industry. But there's really very little like it. My industry tends to use the term holistic financial planning. And as Dan said, it's a big picture planning of all aspects. But my industry, by and large, ignores the business. And if the entrepreneur's wealth is 70% of his wealth is in the business, then my industry is ignoring 70% of that entrepreneur's wealth and still calling it holistic. So when we call it holistic, it truly is holistic. We're looking at everything. So that's unique in itself. But then the fact that we know the regulations, we know the trials and tribulations of the industry. And what I personally love is when I go to clients or potential clients, if they need investments, I can help them with it, or planning, I can help them with it. But often they need evaluation, or they need accounting, or they need M&A expertise. And it's wonderful that now I'm able to offer that with a partner that does a great job.
Yeah, to the same question, I'd say that the one word answer is efficiency. You know, I'm all in favor of people having accountants and attorneys and business advisors. But oftentimes these people don't talk within themselves. Mm-hmm. And the efficiency of having that information, the sooner they can grasp that information, leads to the quicker we can put solutions into place. So efficiency, because that's the only way to guarantee the best result for our clients.
Agreed. And this is exciting because I think in 2 weeks we'll be in Charlotte at ICCFA. We're going to share space, as we should be, with the Foresight Roosevelt Group at booth 1403.
I'm doing like you do when you do your how many shows.
And it actually looks more like you're having a fit, but it's okay.
Wait, I'm only up to 1,000.
Okay. So, yeah, certainly we want everybody to come by and take a look, because this is, we were talking holistic. It's broadened. It's not just for the wealth of the funeral home. This is going to be an opportunity to help grow with 401ks and, all the way down through everybody involved with the funeral home is an opportunity to help them be comfortable long term. And this is something that's really been lacking in our business and the expertise. So we're excited that you guys have brought this together. And of course, we had the opportunity to share with the Funeral Nation in person the personalities behind it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate it. And
thank you.
We look forward to seeing you in Charlotte in just a few weeks.
Look forward ourselves. Thank you.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Once again, it's great to have Dan on, your sidekick. But, it's great to just highlight the movers and shakers and what's happening. And two companies coming together like this, we continually bring that news. And, it's positive change for the profession. And that's really what we're about, is it highlighting those positive things and what are going to make funeral directors' livelihoods and operating their business more efficient and more successful. And so I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you. It's really exciting. And speaking of exciting, we like to hear the phone ring, right?
Always.
And when I hear that, it's sort of like, ring, ring, Welton Hong, can I help you? Let's run this promo.
We're Ring Ring Marketing. We help funeral homes generate at least 10 more at-need calls per month. Our techniques help you dominate local search rankings and become the top choice for services in your area. We also proudly offer a 100% money-back guarantee. For a free copy of our book, visit www.funeralhomeprofits.com.
Well, that wraps up another amazing episode, industry-breaking news on episode 148 of the Funeral Nation Show. Next week will be 149. We don't have a plan yet, I don't think, unless you got something up your sleeve. It's probably going to be something looking at ICCFA and what's coming up, because we will be going live from ICCFA every day. So if you can't attend the conference, you can check out the Funeral Nation Facebook page, where you're going to get an inside look at what is happening at the show.
Next week is going to be something interesting. I'm going to be on vacation.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to be recording from a different location, shall we say?
Locale.
different that I haven't done in a long time.
The Speedo's coming out.
It's coming. Hey, look, it's bikini season here in Arizona, so look out, baby. All right. Well, thank you for a great show again. By the way, remember, ICCFA, if you can't be there, watch. But that's going to be segment 150.
That's right.
Of recorded shows that we don't miss in a week.
150 episodes.
That's big time.
It's 3 years. It's almost 3 years that we've been every week. People got to stare at our mugs and listen to our voice.
It's incredible. And thank you, Funeral Nation, for supporting us.
You know, you're a lot trimmer and a lot more tan than the first episode. And
yeah, what a difference a move across the country and losing 200 pounds of, I'll leave that alone.
Oh, boy. Anyway. All right. Until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here.